Hello, everyone. Mark Conter here at the Messer Financial Office. Beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina on this cold, cold day. We want to thank you again for coming in to listen to our series this year, the new 2017 Life Insurance Training Series. It's going to be a lot different than in the past. I think all of us, myself included, got bored with just listening to carriers present their product, and then you get all fired up about, oh, that sounds like something I can sell, and then a day later it's like, oh well, we'll get something else going. So what we have decided to do for 2017 is gear the entire webinar series on teaching selling techniques and skills. And if a carrier can provide us with that type of information, then and only then can they share their product with us. So you've got to have the track, and that's where we intend to go. So actually today, let me get started with the normal housekeeping. First of all, please mute your phones, although everyone should be on a mute, just in case if you hear during the presentation some background noise that sounds like it's coming from your home, it probably is. So let's just make sure we're all muted out. As always, too, we're going to ask that the questions that you have, you will type into the box there on the screen on the right, and we will come back to those questions as we complete the presentation. So, with that in mind, after numerous conversations, it's my pleasure this morning to introduce to you Mr. Mike Gendy. He is the Regional Sales Manager with the Guaranteed Trust Life Insurance Company. And Michael today, again, is going to not only bring to you a little information on his product, but how you're going to sell it. Michael, good morning.
Mark, good morning to you, and to everybody else, good morning and a fine day to you. Let's get started. First of all, let me just say thanks so much for giving me this opportunity. We're going to spend 45 minutes to an hour, I would imagine, talking. My goal today is that when we are done, each and every one of you will be able to say, holy moly, I am glad that I spent that last 45 minutes listening, because I have so much information now that I can take away and put to use and immediately start making money with. So I will do my best to live up to that goal. So let's begin with, and let's talk just for a bit about today's agenda. So what we want to do is, I'm going to tell you a little bit about GTL so you know who we are. We're going to talk about goals. We're going to talk about the gold mine that we are sitting on currently. Advantage Plus, I'll cover the product itself. We're going to talk about appointment setting, mining the gold mine, and I'll tell you what the gold mine is in just a minute, and I think you'll agree. We're going to talk about our simplified application process, and right towards the very end, I am going to share with you a no-pressure, three-choice or alternative choice close that you've seen before, but you probably haven't seen it with the twist that I've put on it, and I will give you the actual word track, flow through it, and then at the end of the webinar, I'll give you my information, and if you want the actual word-by-word track of the close and of the appointment setting, send me an email and I will be happy to forward it to you. We here at GTL want to see all of you succeed, and rather than just giving you the product, we're going to try to give you some training to assist you with that. All right, so let's talk just for a moment about this gold mine, because right now you're all going, hey, what's that gold mine that I'm sitting on? The gold mine that you're sitting on is your Medicare Advantage clients. You've got, let's say somebody has 100 Medicare Advantage clients. Out of those 100 Medicare Advantage clients, probably very few of them have a hospital indemnity plan. So they have this exposure that when they go into the hospital, they're going to have to pay for their, on average, probably $300 per day, and typically for 5 days. So about $1,500 they're responsible for. And if they're like me or the rest of our clients, hey, coming up with $1,500 would be a very difficult thing to do and actually could be financially devastating to them. So a lot of times you'll see where when they go in and they have this big bill looking at them because of their Medicare Advantage copay, they're going to have to borrow that money, put it on one of those high-interest credit cards, make payments on it forever, or they end up borrowing it from their children. Neither of those are good solutions. Would you all agree? The solution that we have come up with is for you to offer them and sell them an Advantage Plus plan. So we'll talk about that. Let's get started, and let me tell you a little bit about GTL. We are located in Glenview, Illinois, founded in 1936, family-led by the Holson family for 3 generations, licensed in 49 states, all but New York. 80-year history of providing quality products and service your clients can depend upon. In the last 2 years, we have spent over $80 million paying your clients in claims between our hospital indemnity plan, which we're going over with today, and our cancer plan. And I tell you that number, I share that number with you with pride. You know, most insurance companies, when they talk about money that they spend on claims, they won't tell anybody. We're proud of it. We write these plans so that your clients can collect on it. It's not supposed to be a one-way trap where all the money comes in and none goes out. No, we're going to pay out millions of dollars, and we want to. Of course, we're going to cut off our sliver of the money coming in for our profits, and we're a highly profitable company. We have 0 debt, but the policy is designed so that your clients can collect on it. Let's talk about goals, and a goal needs to be, and Mark, at this point, I'm going to let you jump in because I know from our discussions you're very committed to the process of setting goals.
Yes, and thank you very much, Michael. Again, guys and gals, one of the first things we always need to do is set ourselves up today with where we want to be tomorrow. And those goals, even though we're already in the middle of March, need to first and foremost be in writing. Because if you commit something in writing, it has a lot stronger effect and it stays more active on your mind than if it's just a thought you have, X amount of sales, X amount of dollars, X amount of presentations that you choose or prefer to think you're going to be able to do in that next year. So when you write down that goal, the first thing you can look at and say to yourself as you're looking at it, did I really write down a goal that's achievable? Because, hey, you know, everybody wants to have $1 million, but are you going to earn $1 million in your first year out there with any of the products that we offer? Well, you might, but highly unlikely. And if you set yourself a goal that's unachievable, you're only going to have yourself come back into a position of being somewhat negative, which of course is the worst situation to have if you're a salesperson, because that environment is also going to bleed out when you're out working with your clients. So write it down, review it, say to yourself, I can achieve it, or make changes. And then also, of course, is it believable? Can you attain what you think you've written down that you can achieve? Probably the part that's the most difficult for salespeople, and I include myself in this category, is measuring that goal. Because measuring means you've got to take an accounting for what you set out to do. And when you're measuring it, sometimes also that should be in writing because you're going to break it down into different factors. It might be, first of all, learning enough about a product that you're just comfortable selling it before you even go out and introduce it. And then it is, you know, how many times are you going to need to introduce it to get to the final question and make the close and make the sale. So keeping those records, having an accountability to yourself, And again, I think as agents, that's our most difficult thing. We are independent. We don't have someone hovering over us telling us to get out there and do it. We've got to motivate ourselves. And then, of course, you've got to have the final portion, and that's why it's called a deadline. And that's exactly from the Greek, drawing that circle around what you're doing. And if you extend yourself beyond the circle, you've reached the deadline. So you need to schedule that for yourself. Thank you, Michael.
Absolutely. And remember to commit to reading your goals every single day. What we focus on, guys, that's what we're going to achieve, what we put our attention to. One little tip that I've got that I do is every day at the end of the day, before I head out of my office, I take just literally 2-3 minutes and I think about what do I want to accomplish tomorrow? What are my goals for tomorrow? I will write them down on a sheet of paper, and then I will put them right flat in the middle of my desk. In the morning when I get to my office, I take a look. Oh, yeah, this is what I need to get accomplished today. So, all right. One other thing that I should mention, as you guys are probably understanding right now, is that I talk fast, I move fast. This webinar is going to flow very, very quickly. Grab your pen and paper, write down what you can. I believe that it's being recorded, so you'll probably be able to get a recording of it for to be able to go back and review. So, all right. Here at GTL, we have a full suite of products. The product that we're going to concentrate on today is Advantage Plus, our hospital indemnity plan, which is designed to go hand in glove with your Medicare Advantage clients. Why sell Why sell GTL's Advantage Plus? All right, from your perspective, it will keep your clients. The more policies your client has with you, the higher their level of loyalty will be. And something else that I think is important to all of us, we can make more money. Also, it will create a satisfied client because now when they go into the hospital, they get paid and they're going, wow, this was good. I'm glad that I bought this plan from my agent. And it gives you the ability to make more money, and it will increase your referrals because they're a happier, satisfied, loyal client. And how do you get referrals from clients? We have to ask for them. Will they give them to us if we don't ask? Yeah, but a tiny, tiny amount. So if we ask for them, think of how many more referrals we can get. I'm going to give you a simple 11 words of how you can ask for a referral. And you may want to write this down. I'll say it a couple of times. You say to your client after you've earned their trust, and you say, hey, Bob, who else do you feel would benefit from talking with me? Hey, Sally, who else do you feel would benefit from talking with me? Hey, Jim, who else do you feel would benefit from talking with me? It's a very simple, no pressure, soft sell way of asking for a referral. And because it's easy to do, it will be something that will become a habit, and you'll do it with every person that you come into a meaningful contact with. Okay? Who else do you feel would benefit from talking with me? Okay. Also, you'll be able to increase your first year commissions and build great renewals. Now, from your client's perspective, why should they have Advantage Plus? Well, in combination with their main health plan, they end up paying pennies on the dollars for their medical expenses. And they get protected from large out-of-pocket copays, which makes them much happier, and it provides them alternative coverage options. So, does your client's health insurance have deductibles or copayments for hospital confinement, ambulance trips, outpatient surgery, skilled nursing, dental and vision, cancer treatments? Yes, 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 yes. All right, that's why we need to be thinking about Advantage Plus. So let's talk about the plan itself. So this is we pay a daily hospital indemnity. This is the base plan. Your client can choose a 3-day, 6-day, 10-day, or 21-day benefit period for the number of days that they will be paid while they're in the hospital. 90% of the plans that you sell will be the 10-day benefit period because it is by far the highest value plan, which I'll show you in a little bit. After they have been out of the hospital for 60 days in a row, now the plan restores. They have an unlimited number of benefit plan restorations. So they can choose a 3-day plan. Dollar amount that it will pay daily is between $350 and $600. 6-day plan between $250 and $600. 10 and 21-day plan between $100 per day and $600. You will choose the amount, and it comes in $10 increments. The way that you'll choose that amount is, say their Medicare Advantage copay is $250 per day. Add $50 onto that, and that would be a good point for their benefit dollar amount. The reason why we add $50 above and beyond what they have to pay daily through their Medicare copay is because, hey, at some point down the line, that copay could go up from Medicare, okay, from their Medicare Advantage plan. And so by adding $50, we've covered it. And what it also does is, hey, every day that they're in the hospital, they're going to get paid an extra $50. Some additional benefits that come with the base plan. The emergency room benefit. So if somebody goes into the emergency room due to an accident or an injury, and then they get admitted into the hospital within at least 24 hours, we're going to pay them, besides their daily hospital indemnity amount, we're going to add $150 onto it, a one-time payment for that. Mental health benefit. We're going to pay them $175 per day up to 7 days if they are confined to a mental health facility due to a mental or nervous disorder. All right, now, if they're in a mental health facility, they're not going to be paid their hospital indemnity amount. They're going to be paid the $175, just so we're clear on that. Whenever I talk, I like to be very clear, because whenever there's a misunderstanding with the client, it's because they weren't clear on what they were getting. So we want to make everything super clear. Okay. Plan restoration example. So policyholder goes into the hospital. They have a 10-day benefit period plan. They go into the hospital. They're in for 5 days. Say it's $300 per day that they're getting. Now they get paid $1,500. They go home, and they're not in the hospital for 60 consecutive days. Now their plan has reloaded to a brand new 10-day benefit period. Example number 2, 10-day benefit period. Policyholder goes into the hospital for 5 days. Then they go home, but they return to the hospital within 60 days. Now they've used up 5 of their 10 days from this stay, so they have 5 days left. They're in for, say, 5 days. And now they've been paid a total of 10 days between these 2 stays, but there was not a 60-day gap, so the plan did not reload. Now they go home. They have 0 days left, but as soon as they've been out of the hospital for 60 days, now it has reloaded to a brand new 10-day benefit period. Ever had a client go into the hospital and the doctors don't know what's wrong? They keep them in there for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and they code it observation stay. With our competitors' plans, hospital indemnity plans, an observation stay either is not covered or is reduced dramatically, hence creating, as you see this old codger here, an unhappy individual. With your Advantage Plus plan, we pay for observation stays, and we pay 100% of the daily hospital benefit level, hence creating a very happy customer that is going to give you referrals when they ask and stay with you for years and years to come. There's some riders on our plan. You have an ambulance rider, skilled nursing rider, lump sum hospital rider, outpatient surgery rider, short duration stay, lump sum cancer, dental vision. All right, let's talk about these just for a second. Ambulance rider, put this on every single plan that you sell automatically. It only runs less than $5 per day, and what it will do, it will pay your client $200 per ambulance trip up to 4 times per year, and they do not have to be confined to the hospital in order to be able to collect. With our competitors, they only pay 3 times. Skilled nursing rider pays days 1 through 50 in a skilled nursing facility. They choose either 100 $150 or $200 per day as the daily benefit. What's so nice about this is you go into the hospital, you're in for at least 3 days, then you get released, and say they want you to go to a nursing home, but you're like, no, I think I can recover at home. So you go home to recover. After a couple weeks, you decide, you know what, this is just too difficult. I need to go into that rehab. Guess what? As long as you go to the skilled nursing facility, you have a 30-day window to get there. As long as you go there within 30 days of being admitted to the hospital, we're still going to pay starting once you go in. Lump sum hospital rider, exactly what you see. We'll pay $250, $500, or $750 when you go into the hospital. Outpatient surgery rider, $250, $500, $750, or $1,000. All right, short duration hospital stay rider. This is included automatically on the 3 and the 6 day benefit. But remember, 90% of the plans you sell are going to have the 10-day benefit. So add the short duration hospital stay rider automatically. It costs about 86 cents, less than $1 per month. And what it does is, if the client's in for only 12 to 24 hours, it will pay for a full day. For instance, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you go into the hospital, they keep you overnight, they don't know what is wrong with you, they release you 7 o'clock the next day. The next morning, you've been in for 14 hours, but you're not in for a full day, so you're not covered under a lot of our competitors' plans. With ours, you would be covered. So just automatically add that onto your plan. Lump sum cancer rider, very important. We will pay when the client is diagnosed with invasive cancer. We will pay either $2,500, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000, which is double what our competitors will pay. And we recommend adding the optional recurrence benefit so that it will rebuild. We will pay 25% of the lump sum amount if they are diagnosed with cancer in situ. We're not doctors. However, here's what cancer in situ is. It is a non-invasive cancer where they can go in, remove the tumor, sew you up, and the procedure is completed. No radiation, no chemotherapy needed. If you're ever going to get cancer, that's the type you want. Happens about 10% of the time. So we will pay 25% of the lump sum benefit for that. We will pay $500 payment for basal cell / squamous cell skin carcinoma. What the heck is that? We all know it as skin cancer. We will pay that up to 3 times during the life of the policy, once per year. That's typically above the shoulders. You have that blotch on your neck or on the side of your face. You go in, you get it removed in about 15 minutes. Dental vision rider, we will pay an annual benefit of up to $400, $800, or $1,200, depending upon what they select. Always recommend you will either sell the $800 or the $1,200. The $400 plan costs about $25 per month, so there's no advantage to the client to pay $400 a year for a plan that they're only going to get $400 for. The $800 and the $1,200 only runs $30 to $35 per month. Huge benefit for that. We'll talk more about that later. Why is cancer coverage so important? Well, I'll tell you why. 50% of men, 33% of women will be diagnosed with some form of cancer during their lifetime. So that means 1 out of every 2 men, 1 out of every 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer. Add those two together, that means 40% of everybody in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer at some point in their life, 4 out of 10. The problem is we don't know which 4 of us it will be, or if we're men, we don't know out of every 2 which one of us it will be, nor do we know when cancer will strike us. But we do know that it will, and when it does, it will be, costs can add up very quickly. That's why you need the cancer rider, and that's why your clients will love you for bringing it up to them, and we will pay you commission on it. Okay, so let's look at 2 examples here. The example on the left, individual has Medicare Advantage, and they go in, they are diagnosed with cancer. It's estimated that they're going to have $50,000 for their costs. They are responsible for 20% copay for radiation and chemotherapy, which would be $10,000 out of their pocket. Now we know that all plans have a MOOP, maximum out-of-pocket expense, typically around $5,000. But if this treatment carries over from December into January, guess what? Their maximum out-of-pocket has started all over again. So that's why it's not unusual for them to have to come up with $10,000. Very difficult for anybody to come up with $10,000. It's financially devastating. However, this individual who's 65 years old, all right, if they had bought our Cancer Rider plan, or thank goodness they bought our Cancer Rider plan, they paid $29.75 per month for it, and now they're going to get paid $10,000. And I can't say that they're a very happy individual because they've come down with cancer, so they're not too happy about that. But at least now they have $10,000 less financial stress in their life while they're dealing with cancer. And we all know that the less stress you have, the faster you can heal. If you're age 70, it'll run $34 per month, age 75, $39. How do you start the conversation about cancer? You can ask about their family history, but something that I like even better, this simple question, okay, and you may want to write this down. It's about 12 or 13 words, I guess. Who do you know that has had experience dealing with cancer? Hey, Bob, who do you know that has had experience dealing with cancer? Hey, Julie, who do you know that has had experience dealing with cancer? Last time, I'll repeat it. Who do you know that has had experience dealing with cancer? All right, again, that's a very soft, easy way to transition into talking about cancer. Who do you know that has had experience dealing with cancer? I know I told you I wasn't going to repeat it again. Now, typically, your client, the person they bring up is going to be the individual closest to them. Usually it will be a family member. Oh, my father dealt with cancer for 15 years before he finally passed away. Oh my gosh, my condolences to you. Bob, is it okay if I ask you a couple of questions? Always ask permission to talk about it, okay? And they'll say yes, of course. And then at that point say, tell me about that experience. The reason why we want them to do the talking now is what they are doing, guys and gals, they are going to be creating the need why they have to buy this cancer coverage. So the more they talk about this experience dealing with cancer, the easier your job is. So prod them along. How long were the treatments? What type of treatments did they have? Did they have to have surgery? And then after you've gotten quite a bit out of them, so that you know that the light bulb has gone off, they see the need, say to them, what did that do to your dad financially? Oh my gosh, it destroyed him. You know, it cost him so much money. He had great insurance, but there were so many other costs that were associated with it that we had no idea. Bingo, guess what? You've just sold a cancer rider onto your policy and made a nice commission. All right. Recurrence benefit example. Whenever you sell a cancer rider, always put a recurrence benefit on it. Here's the reason why. So this policyholder has a $10,000 lump sum cancer rider with recurrence rider. He or she is diagnosed with a covered cancer. He receives a check from GTL for $10,000. They're very happy that they got the policy. After treatment, this policyholder is diagnosed to be in remission. Woohoo! We're happy. All right, so this individual now, the plan, it's rebuilding after 1 year of remission, it's rebuilt 10%. After 2 and 3 years, it's rebuilt 25%. After 4 years, it has rebuilt 50%. And after 5 years, the plan is rebuilt right back to the $10,000 lump sum. So now, that individual, after 5 years of being in remission, is diagnosed again with a covered cancer. It may be the same cancer, it may be a different, makes no difference. Guess what will happen? The rider is 100% restored after 5 years, so a check from GTL is sent to them for another $10,000 Thank you, Mr. or Mrs. Insurance Agent, for bringing that up to the individual. You have just made a world of difference in their life, and at the same time, got paid a nice commission. Dental or vision rider. Our competitors do not have a dental and vision rider, so let's talk about this. Remember I mentioned that you'll sell either the $800 or the $1,200 annual benefit option. So year number one, after the calendar year $100 deductible once a year is satisfied, we are going to pay 80% of the actual charges up to 50% of the maximum benefit level chosen. Here's what that means. The first year you have the plan, you can collect 50% of your maximum amount. So if you have an $800, you can collect $400, $1,200, you can collect $600. Here's where it gets real fun. After 2 years, okay, after the calendar year $100 deductible is satisfied, 80% of the actual charges up to 100% of the maximum benefit level chosen will be paid. So in other words, now, year number two, you can collect $800 or $1,200 per year. And remember, the benefit, the premium on it is only about $35. Listen to this, preventative care benefits. So after your client has had this plan for only 3 months, now they can be paid up to $75 for a preventative dental appointment. That will be paid once per calendar year as long as they go in. Also, they will be paid up to $50 for one basic eye exam or refraction, again, once per year as long as they go in. So what does that mean? You know what that means is after they've had this plan only 3 months, they can collect $125. And it's very important to know that the annual calendar year deductible, $100 that we talked about, it's not applicable to the preventative services. So they collect this without having to worry about that $100 deductible. Pretty cool, isn't it? All right. Now, after they've had this plan for 6 months, we are now going to pay for fillings or root canal treatment. Remember, up to the 50% of their first year benefit amount. We will also pay $200 for prescription eyewear or contacts after 6 months. So they've had this plan for 6 months. They went in, they got contacts, they get paid $200. They had the $75 for the dental exam, $50 for the eye exam. That's $125 plus $2. $325 they're already able to collect during after only 6 months. All right, after they've had the plan 12 months, guess what? Now we are going to pay for bridges, crowns, full dentures or partials, treatment relating to replacement of natural teeth, outpatient dental surgery, full mouth extractions, or fluoride treatments. So in year number 2, now it gets real big, the coverage, from there on out. And it's important to note that if existing bridges or dentures need repair or replacement due to injury, they get in an accident, car accident, they fall, they hit their mouth on some stairs, whatever it may be, the 12-month period is not applicable. So in other words, we would cover this day number 2 if they had an accident. All right, pretty cool, isn't it? All right, let's talk about setting an appointment. You call the client, warm up, give the reason for the call, ask for the appointment, make sure that they qualify, and then warm down. Let's break this down a little bit. The reason why I want to cover this in detail is anybody out there that has Medicare Advantage clients, you know, that's the gold mine that we're sitting on. And during open enrollment, we all are, or at least feel we are, too busy to bring up this plan during that time. Once you see how much money you can make on it, you're going to be, you know what, I'm going to take that extra 15 minutes and bring it up to everybody because it's the perfect time. But we've probably got 100, 200, 300 Medicare Advantage clients in our book of business that do not have Advantage Plus. So they have all this exposure out there. So this is the perfect time of the year between now and open enrollment to call them up, set an appointment, go in there, show them Advantage Plus. 70% of the presentations you give, if you are just an average individual, you will close. I'm guessing that the people on this webinar today are not the average agents, because you guys are taking the time out of your busy day and improving yourself and becoming better at your career. So let's talk about this call, how you word it. So you call the individual, Bob, and you warm up with him for a moment. And who I'm calling are my clients that have Medicare Advantage. So I call Bob. Hey, Bob, this is Michael Gendy with GTL Insurance. How you doing today? Oh, good, Michael. How you been? I'm doing good. It's been a while since we talked. We took care of you for your Medicare Advantage plan 2 years ago. You know, hey, maybe you haven't called these people in 2 years. It doesn't matter. Now's the perfect reason to call them. So then you say to him, and he goes, oh, yeah, of course I remember you, Michael. How you been, Bob? You had a chance to use your plan at all? Nope, I've been real healthy, knock on wood. Okay, so now I tell the reason for the call. Hey, Bob, the reason for my call is I have found that a lot of my clients, when they go into the hospital, they get out and they're kind of upset because they end up with a bill typically around $1,500 because of their Medicare Advantage copay. Like with your plan, Bob, you're responsible for $300 per day for the first 5 days that you're in the hospital. So if you're in the hospital, you'd have to come up with $1,500 out of your own pocket. And if you're like me or the rest of my clients, that is a difficult thing to do and literally could be financially devastating. Would you agree? Yes, I would agree. Absolutely. Would not want to have to come up with $1,500. It would be very difficult to do. So what I have found is that my clients end up putting that money, Bob, on one of those high interest credit cards, and then they end up paying on the thing forever and ever, or some of them end up having to borrow the money from their children. You know, neither one of those solutions I feel is acceptable. How about you? No, absolutely not. We have too many credit cards as it is, and you know, I never want to have to borrow money from my kids. Good. So, Bob, I've done some research, and I have found a low-cost plan that I have fallen in love with that will help alleviate or completely eliminate that out-of-pocket expense that we're talking about. It'll take me probably 10, 15 minutes to go over that with you. Would you like me to stop by and share that information with you? Boom. So at that point, how can the customer say no? All right? You've set it up just perfectly. And so now at that point he says, yeah, that sounds like a very good idea. Okay, so now what we do is let's set the appointment, but then we're going to make sure that they qualify. So we say to Bob, we go, hey, Bob, would Monday or Tuesday of next week be best for you? Bob says, Monday would be good. I'm off all day. Excellent. Before we set an exact time, Bob, let's make sure that you qualify for this plan. Let me ask you a couple questions. This is a real difficult plan to qualify for, so let's make sure that you do. And then I ask him the 5 qualifying questions. If he can say no to all 5 of those questions, bingo, we've got an appointment. So then I say to him, hey, Bob, you know what? Looks like you're going to qualify. Congratulations. Let's set an exact time. Would 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock be best for you? Boom, we set the time. Now, before we hang up, let's do a warm down. Yeah, okay. Hey, Bob, what do you have going the rest of the day? And let's get Bob to talk for just a minute. And then at the end, then we will reconfirm when the appointment is, and we will go in on Tuesday, Monday, whatever it is, Monday, I believe, and give the presentation and sell the plan. So there is your exact word track for setting up an appointment with your Medicare Advantage clients. Again, at the end of this webinar, I will give you my email address and my phone number, and if you call me, I will be happy to give you that exact word track, word for word. You'll have to learn it, memorize it, but it will be worth thousands of dollars for you. If you have 100 Medicare Advantage clients in your book right now, you will call them, you will be able to set up, and this is minimal, you will be able to set up at least 50 appointments. You will close 70% of those. That's worth $10,000. If you have 200 clients, that will be worth $20,000. And I'll bet you I'm reducing those numbers by, I bet you I'm off by 50% or more. I'll bet you it's probably $15,000 per 100 clients that you've got. Okay. These are the states that our hospital indemnity plan is sold in. So let's talk about some sales ideas. So if this is your client's first time to Medicare, in other words, you're just signing them up for Medicare Advantage, guess what we have from ages 64.5 to 65.5? That is correct. We have guaranteed issue. So no matter what medical conditions your clients are dealing with, they will be able to get our Advantage Plus plan. They don't even have to answer any medical questions unless they buy the cancer rider. Then they have to answer cancer rider questions. So how cool is that? Also, here's something else. First time to Medicare. So you're all set with Medicare. You're going over the daily copay. Let's say it's $300. You say to the client, okay, so with this Medicare Advantage plan, you will have a daily copay of $300 for 5 days. So every time you go into the hospital, you will be responsible for the first 5 days. You will have to pay $300 per day, which would be about $1,500. Pause for a second and then say, you know what, Bob and Mary, if you remind me at the end, I will go over a plan that will take care of those out-of-pocket expenses for you. All right? Boom. There you go. So Bob and Mary, Bill and Mary, it could be Bob and could be, anyways, Bill and Mary, if you remind me at the end of this presentation, I will be happy. I've got a plan that we can take care of those copays for you. So now what you do after you've signed them up for their Medicare Advantage plan, but while you're still in the house, now you bring up the Advantage Plus. Make sure that you have a scope of appointment filled out with the check mark in the proper space so that we stay legal on that. If your client already has a Medicare, if the client already has a Medicare Advantage plan, but they did not buy it from you, perfect. Ask them if their agent, talk to them about their out-of-pocket copays and how those could be covered. Perfect way to pick up additional clients. But also, just so you know, it also lets you know that, hey, if you're not covering it with your client, you're leaving that window open for another agent to come in and say the same to your own client. So let's get that handled. If they have a Medicare Advantage plan with a premium, even though a premium is being paid for Medicare Advantage, the insured will still be responsible for a copay. Does your area offer both premium and zero premium plans? You know what? Take a look and which makes the most sense for your client. The Advantage Plus underwriting, it's very easy. Simplified jet issue policy, no MIB or phone interview, a simple yes-no application, 12-month look back is all. Guaranteed issue, as we talked about, from ages 64.5 to 65.5, except Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Cancer rider is not guaranteed issue. Pre-existing condition, 6-month period prior to effective date of coverage. No annual policy fee, one-time application fee, and we waive that if the spouse is applying for coverage at the same time. You do not pay twice. Issue ages with this plan, age 40 through 85. Ambulance rider, they can buy up to age 80. Rates are issue age and guaranteed renewable for life. How to submit business? We have electronic platform through our website, GTLIC. It works with all of your devices. You can email it in, you can fax it in, you can mail it in. We make it very easy for you. These are some approved marketing materials that we've got: a trifold brochure, client brochure, rate sheet, outline of coverage. One thing I need to mention to everybody, if you use our name in advertising, make sure that we give you prior approval from our compliance department. If your client already has Advantage Plus and they want to increase their benefits, you can apply for additional daily benefit amount up to the plan maximum. A new policy will be issued for the increased amount. If you're just adding a rider, very simple, complete the application, check the riders that are to be added, and they will be added to the existing policy. First-year commissions are paid on the increase of benefits. And does your client need a dental or vision rider? Guess what? Policyholder, they can contact GTL customer service at this number, and you will be paid on it, or you can complete the dental vision policyholder service request form. Policyholder will receive an amendment noting the addition of the rider to their policy. Rider will take effect upon the next policy premium draft. All right, let's talk about some rates here so you can get an idea of the plan. Plan typically will run $30 to $65 per month. So here's a 3-day, 6-day, 10-day, 21-day. All right, the 3-day benefit for $350 per day. So 3 days, we will pay them $350. That will run $22.84 per month, $1,050. They will be paid if they are in the hospital for 1 3-day period. At $1,050 at $22.84 per month, they would have to have this plan for 4 years. If they're in one time, in 4 years, they will be ahead of the game. 6-day benefit plan, $250 per day, will run them $22.58 per month. A 10-day benefit plan at the same $250 per day, okay, will run $25.54 per month, but we add in the short stay rider so that if they're in between 12 and 24 hours, they will be paid 1 full day. So that will run them a total of $26.40 per month versus $22.58 for a 6-day to jump up to a 10-day, less than $4 per month. Now you're seeing why 90% of the time you're going to be selling the 10-day benefit, okay? So let's say that the individual goes in for a 10-day benefit. They're in for 10 days. They get paid $2,500. They're paying $26.40 per month. That means that if they used up 10 days once every 8 years, they will still be ahead of the ball game for what it's cost them. All right, let's talk about real fast some rate examples. So let's use the 10-day because this is what we're going to sell. $250 daily benefit will run $26.40 with the short duration stay rider built in. Add an ambulance rider for $4.20. What are we spending? $30.60 per month. Very, very affordable. If you add I'm showing here a $5,000 cancer with recurrence, lump sum payment, that'll add $18. They're under $50 per month. Add a dental vision rider. You see here that will run $32 per month, and that's for the $800 annual benefit. It's a guarantee issue. Okay. Let me show you an example of a copay, Medicare Advantage copay example versus an Advantage Plus annual premium. And I'm showing you this because I want you to see how financially logical it makes sense for every single one of your clients to get this policy. Okay, so let's use age 65. So this individual has a healthcare Medicare Advantage plan with a $250 per day hospital confinement copay plus a $200 per ambulance use copay. They are transported into the hospital via ambulance and they're in for 1 full day, so they are responsible for $450, okay, in each of these examples. The annual premium example we are using is based on a 10-day benefit period with their Advantage Plus plan, paying them $250 per day, and they have the ambulance rider, which remember pays them $200. So they go in, and Medicare Advantage is going to have them responsible for $450, $250 for the 1-day copay, plus $200 for the ambulance ride. Guess what their annual premium would be with Advantage Plus? The annual premium would only be $377. And remember, they're going to get paid $250 because they're in for 1 day, plus, I'm sorry, $250 because they're in for 1 day, plus they'll be paid $200 for the ambulance rider. So they're paid $450. So that goes down to zero. They're ahead of the ballgame already, 1 day in. Completing the application, very simple to do. It's good to know each applicant will get their own Advantage Plus policy as far as husband or wife. Please review the health questions carefully with clients. And remember that taking medication for a condition is the same as being treated. The requested effective date will also be the draft date. Please remember to always answer the replacement question. Make sure that the premium payer signs the draft form. These are all things you need to have done because we want to get you paid very, very quickly. We pay commissions weekly. Make sure to use the correct state version of the application and place your GTL agent code on the application. Speaking about paying claims and paying quickly, we pay our claims on average 8 to 10 days. Industry average is just over 15 days. So we're 5 days ahead of industry average. And that starts from the very top of the company, our CEO, Rick Olson. His belief is that, hey, when a client has to put a claim in with us or with any insurance company, it's never a good thing because that means that, hey, something not good has happened to them, so they have stress in their life. He pounds it into every person here at GTL. We've got over 270 people that take care of the client. I do not want to add to their stress level. I want to diminish their stress level. So get those claims paid immediately. Okay. Completing the application during the guarantee issue period, and this individual is not getting cancer coverage, so guess what? They do not have to answer any questions at all, but make sure to answer the replacement question. If you are completing the application within the guaranteed issue period, and remember that guarantee issue period is when? Yes, age 64 and a half to age 65 and a half, and this individual is getting cancer coverage. So they do not have to answer the Advantage Plus 5 questions, but they will have to answer the cancer lump sum questions. And as always, be sure to answer the replacement question. New application, e-application platform. You go to GTLIC, select the GTL agent login. You'll start up entering in your username. You'll create one. Platform works on Apple, Android, Macs, and PCs. No need to be online to complete an application. You can download it all into your iPad and then fill it all out. And then when you're back online, submit it. Built for cross-selling. You can add a second or third GTL product with 1 or 2 clicks. Most products are instantly underwritten upon submission, so you get paid right away. E-delivery of policy information and ID card to policyholder. So let's take a look. There's what some of the devices that it operates on and what the login screen looks like. A little more detail there. You enter in your username, your password, hit enter or click login, and now it takes you right to where you need to be. You can have the individual sign your actual iPad, ink the deal, quote on the fly. Designed for convenience. Everything we do here at GTL is designed for 2 reasons. Number 1, and not necessarily in this order, but number 1 is to take care of the client. Because by us taking care of the client, that takes care of you. And number 2, it's designed to make you money. Because we know that, hey, as agents, you want to do a couple of things in life. You want to take care of your clients, make them happy, but you also want to make your people happy, yourself happy. You want to make a whole lot of money in this business. That's why we get into it. We recognize that and cater to you accordingly. Okay, so let's talk about the 3-choice close. And like I say, if anybody wants the exact word track, email me and I'll give you this. So you have spent the time with the client, you've gone over the Advantage Plus plan, you've created the need, you asked them who else do you know that has had experience dealing with cancer, you got them talking all about it, boom, 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 boom. So now you're ready to close the deal. So here's one way to close the deal. Top of the page, you're going to write down 3 choices. In this case, 6 days, $300 per day, $31.36. 6 days, $300 per day with the cancer lump sum payment, and included in that is the ambulance rider and the recurrence benefit. That'll be $65.14, and then I've also done 10 days at $300 per day, 10,000 cancer with recurrence and the ambulance benefit. $69.65, only $4 more per month. So when the client is deciding between these two, if they narrow on this one, then right away they're automatically going to go to the 10-day because it just makes sense. So here's the word track. Bill and Mary, I put together 3 options for you. So the first one is 6 days at $300 per day, and that will be $31.36. The other option is 6 days, $300 per day. Now with this one, you've got the cancer lump sum payment. So when you come down with cancer, you're going to be paid $10,000. That'll be $65.14. And the third option, we've increased it to 10 days of coverage. So you're in the hospital for 10 days. We're going to pay you $300 per day times 10 days. That'll be $3,000. You're going to be paid when you come down with cancer a $10,000 lump sum payment. That one will be $69.65. Which one of these will be best for you? That's your close. That's not the full close. But you say, which one of these will be best for you? You don't say, which one of these do you want to decide upon? Which one of these do you want to choose? Nope. Soft as can be. Which one of these will be best for you? And if you notice, I don't have dollar signs on here, and I never mentioned the word dollar. I said this will be $31.36, this will be $65.14, this will be $69.65. And the paper is facing the client. Which one of these will work best for you? So you're going to get one of 3 answers typically. The client is either going to choose one of them, excellent, we now got a sale, or they're going to come back with a question about something to do with coverage, whatever it may be, and at that point you will then thoroughly answer that question. After you get done answering the question, you're going to ask for confirmation. Bill and Mary, does that answer your question? Nice and slow. Bill and Mary, does that answer your question? Yes, it does. All right, so let me ask you, which one of these will work best for you? Okay, now at that point, what's going to happen is, hopefully they're going to pick one, or they're going to say something along the lines of, well, gee, well, you know what? We really have to think about it, okay? Anybody out there that's ever had somebody say they had to think about it? Raise your hand. I know that everybody has to deal with that objection practically every time, okay? Yep, I have to think about it. So I ask an agent, and this is a sidebar, I ask an agent, I say, well, how do you deal with the objection? I have to think about it. And I always get great answers. And they come back with, you know, I'll ask the client, I'll say, well, what is it that you have to think about it? About what is it that you don't understand? And that's a great way to handle that objection. Another way to handle it is with this word track here. I'm going to use the feel, felt, found close. Then I'm going to use a story that will paint a picture with words. And then I'm going to have the client think about it. We're going to think about it together. And then I'm going to go back to the close. So here's how it sounds. So Bill and Mary, boom, 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 which of these will work best for you? Well, we really just have to think about it. You know, Bill and Mary, I know how you feel. Most of my clients have felt the same way in that they say that they have to think about it. But here's what we have found. When I leave today, you're going to take this brochure, you're going to fold it in half, you're going to put it in your bottom drawer, you're going to close that desk drawer, and then you're never going to think about this plan again until when? And pause for about 5 seconds. Usually during that 5 seconds, your client will say, until we need the plan, or until we're in the hospital, or until we have cancer. And then you say, exactly. And then you're going to say to yourself, oh boy, we've got this $1,500 bill looking at us square in the face. Oh, good news, we got that plan from Michael. Oh no, bad news. We forgot to buy that plan. We never thought about it again. So then you're going to call me up on the phone and you're going to say, hey Michael, just got out of the hospital. Can I buy that plan now for this plan? And then I got to say, no, you can't buy it now because you've already been in the hospital. And unfortunately, Bill and Mary, not only can you not buy the plan now, but now you're not eligible for it at all in the future because you've spent time in the hospital. So let's avoid that uncomfortable call ever having to take place. So I understand you have to think about it. So let's think about this together. So at that point now, I grab the brochure. You know, I've folded it up, I've grabbed the brochure, unfold it, open it back up, and I'm going to get 3 positives from them, and then I'm going to ask for negatives. And here's what I say, is I say, so do you like the fact that this plan whether you go 6 days or 10 days, every day you're in the hospital, it's going to pay you directly $300 per day. Do you like that about the plan? And you shake your head yes when you ask that question. Guess what? The customer is going to say, yes, I like that. Do you like the fact that if you have an ambulance ride into the hospital, that they're going to pay you $200 for that ambulance ride? Yes, I like that. Do you like the fact that with this plan, when you come down with cancer, you're going to get paid $10,000, and that money's going straight to you to use any way you want, and it will rebuild after you've beat cancer and you've been it's been in remission for 5 years. Do you like that fact of this plan? Yes, we like that a lot. Okay, so let me summarize then. So we went over the whole plan. You like it, you understand it, you had to think about it. We've taken some time now to think about it, and so tell me which one of these will work best for you. Now, I missed one item here, guys, and I'm embarrassed on this, but it's very important that I do this correctly for you. So after I've covered 3 positives with the client, hey, do you like the $300 per day? Do you like the ambulance ride? Do you like the $10,000 cancer? Yes, yes, yes. Then I say, and I've done this a million times, but I don't know why I forgot it, but then you say to the client, so you like everything about the plan. Tell me, Bill and Mary, what don't you like? That's a critical part of this close. That's why I'm going back on it. Tell me, Bill and Mary, what don't you like? Pause. There'll be 5 seconds of silence. They won't come up with anything. If they do come up with something, great, because now there's an objection that you can overcome to get to the sale. But typically they will not come up with anything because it's a great plan. What don't you like? And then they pause. Then you say, so there's nothing you don't like. And they go, yeah, no, we like everything. Now we do the summary. So let me summarize. So we went over the plan. You understand it. You like everything about it, but you needed time to think about it. So now we've taken some time to think about it, and we found out that you love everything about the plan. You like that you're going to get paid $10,000. There's nothing in this plan that you don't like. We don't want to avoid that unfortunate call ever having to take place because we never know when this could strike. So now let me ask you again, Bill and Mary, which one of these will work best for you? And when you go for that close, I always lower my voice. Which one of these will work best for you? Like you're letting them in on a secret. Which one of these will work best for you? Boom, there you go. They're going to choose one. If they don't choose one, if they still say, hey, I have to think about it some more, all right, well, now you have to make your own decision of whether you want to push any further. Because at this point, they have felt no pressure from you that they had to make a decision. And so now you got to decide, hey, do I want to push or not? And that's your own professional decision. Okay, let's continue. Once your client buys the policy, they are going to receive in the mail a package that will have a welcome letter. It will then have an outline of coverage. It will show them what their policy number is, and it will show them how they can go online to get their policy. How can you increase client referrals and retention and make more money? And that is through our Advantage Plus plan. Hey, let me share this last little tidbit with you, and hopefully you're already realizing this. That 3-part close that I shared with you, it works great on the Advantage Plus plan. But guess what other products it works great on? Every single product in your bag, it will work good on. So hey, use that for everything. All right. Here is some information. If you want to write down some numbers for sales support, 800-323-6907 for product questions, supplies, overall support. New business, if you have to check on a policy, is 800-635-1993. Customer service for your clients, if they have to call in for any reason, 800-338-7452. Our website, gtlic.com. Here is my information. My name again is Michael Gende, and my email address is mgende@gtlic.com. My direct line into my office is 847-460-4751. And At this point, I would like to turn it over to Mark, and let's see if we have any questions that we can talk about.
Michael, thank you very much for kicking off our training series this year with such a great presentation, doing exactly what we wanted to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you're aware that I was able to count during the presentation at least 6 script type of verbiages for you to use as you're working with your clients. And bear in mind that as wonderful as it is looking at the product we have today, the information that Michael shared, you can use with any product that you're selling that has to do with the life or health business. So again, I thank you very much, Michael, for that input. Looking at the questions, and we're running short on time, we've actually kind of exposed ourselves to a longer than normal. The questions that I see on the screen, I think were answered during the presentation. But the one thing I will add is that Bill was kind enough to share with us that his company himself already had a cancer claim paid by GTL of $10,000 this last year. So again, thank you very much for that information, Bill. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the recording was made today, so you can go back. You're going to be able to obtain the information if you got in here a little late, as some people did. Also, Michael has opened up that door for you to contact him directly to get the verbiages in a better script format. And actually what Michael's done there, unbeknownst to him, fits the very same plan that we're going to be using throughout the presentations this year. I hope that you will join me next week as I also will present making the initial contact. Also, this will include phone, mail, and phone again, letter and scripts that will be provided if you are an attendee only, and you will have access to those only during the presentation. So in other words, I'm not going to post all the proprietary information that we have compiled to enable you to be better salespeople so that anyone can just go in and pull it. You're going to have to attend the actual webinars to gain access not only to the knowledge, but to the tools that we'll have available to you. So again, I thank you all for being here. If you're not already appointed with GTL, I think you recognize the immediate need. Get on our website, go to that Messer Agent Resources line, pull down the contracting, and go ahead and get contracted to GTL. Also, that same Agent Resources tab will get you to the Messer Learning Center, where you'll be able to find this webinar that will be posted. I believe this year we're going to try a little different theory on it too. We're going to wait a few days before we post this. We want people to recognize that we are adding value to our relationship with you and you to us in your sales abilities. So this is just not going to be out there right away for people to have access to. If you have any other questions, you need to contact us. Call that Messer number. Use the extension 819 to get a hold of any of our marketers, and then we'll be able to give you the right guidance that you're looking for. Again, Mark Conter with Messer Financial and Mike Gendy with the Guaranteed Trust Life Group, signing off and saying thank you. And Michael, thank you very much again.
Thank you, Mark. Good day, everybody.